You ever feel like classical music is just kind of old and stuffy? Well, today we're going to jump in a time machine back to the 1600s to check out one of the most dramatic, over-the-top, and honestly extra eras in music history, the Baroque period. Let's get into it.
I mean, seriously, have you ever put on a piece by Bach or Vivaldi and just thought, whoa, there is a lot going on right now? It's like 100 different things are happening all at once. Well, turns out that was totally on purpose.
Yup, you heard that right. This music was basically the 17th century version of showing off your designer kicks or the latest phone. It was an audio flex, designed to scream one thing: I am super rich and super powerful.
Okay, so to really get this music, you have to follow the money. And back then, all the money led to one place, the palaces of kings and queens. This was not music for the masses. It was custom-made for the one-percenters of the day.
And this wasn't just a fad. For 150 years, from 1600 to 1750, music was the ultimate power move. Sure, having a giant castle is cool, but you needed an absolutely epic soundtrack for your life to really show you were the boss. The more complicated the music, the more you could impress everybody. So what did this mean for the actual composers? The guys writing the music? Well, they definitely weren't living the rock star life we think of today. They were basically highly skilled employees, working for the palace.
Think about it like this. Imagine you're a content creator, but you can only make content for one channel. You have to write a new song every time your boss has a birthday party or a random Tuesday dinner, and you can't even travel without getting a permission slip signed. That was pretty much the life of a Baroque composer.
So how did they make the music sound so huge and impressive? Well, they had a specific set of tools and rules they followed, kind of like the musical tech of the era. Let's open up the toolkit. Okay, the number one most important tool was something called the basso continuo. The easiest way to think of this is like the rhythm section in a modern band, the bass and drums that hold everything together. Or if you're a gamer, it's like the game engine that the entire level is built on. It's the foundation. And it worked like this. First, you'd have a low instrument, like a cello, playing a steady bass part. Then, a keyboard player on a harpsichord would fill in all the chords. And once you have that solid bass, all the melody instruments, the violins, the flutes, were free to just go wild on top. Now, on top of that, there was one huge rule everyone followed. One song equals one feeling. That's it. Composers believed that a piece of music should capture a single emotion and just stick with it from start to finish. It's kind of like making a playlist that is strictly for hype or chill. You do not mix the vibes. And they had a whole playbook for creating these vibes. If you wanted the audience to feel joy, you'd use fast music and high notes. If you wanted sadness, you'd slow it down and write in a minor key. They were basically using musical cheat codes to get a specific emotional reaction. All right, so we've got the why and the how. But what about the what? What were the actual chart toppers of the Baroque era? What kind of music was on everyone's playlist? First up, the biggest of them all, opera. Forget what you think you know about opera. Back then, this was the blockbuster superhero movie of its time. It was this massive, expensive, jaw-dropping spectacle with epic stories, superstar singers, and even special effects. It was the ultimate night out. So what did you get in an opera? You got these huge stories, usually about ancient gods and heroes. You had singers who were the A-list celebrities of the day. And the music itself had two main parts. You had the aria, which was the big emotional solo song where a character spills their guts. And then you had recitative, which was more like sung-talking that moved the plot forward. Okay, next up we have the concerto. Now, if opera was the blockbuster movie, the concerto was the musical boss battle. Seriously, it was basically designed to take one super talented musician and pit them against the entire orchestra in a musical showdown. The whole thing is this amazing contrast. You've got the soloist, our hero, playing these ridiculously fast and difficult parts, just showing off their incredible skills. And then bam, the whole orchestra answers back with this huge, powerful sound. It's this dramatic back and forth, like a conversation between one person and a huge crowd. So if this music was so awesome and popular, why don't we hear it all the time now? Well, like any trend, from fashion to TikTok dances, it just went out of style. By the mid-1700s, what used to sound amazing and complex started to sound, well, a little old-fashioned. Tastes changed. The new generation wanted something different. They were kind of tired of the super heavy and complicated Baroque style. They wanted music that was simpler, cleaner, and more balanced. This new vibe, which we call the classical style, was all about one main melody that was easy to follow and hum along to. So if you're going to take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. Baroque music wasn't just trying to sound pretty. It had a job to do.
All of that drama, all of that complexity, all that extra, it was all a musical billboard for the rich and powerful. It was music engineered to impress, to show off, and to project power.
And that kind of leaves us with a question, right? If Baroque music was built to show off the power of kings and queens, what does the music on your playlist, the most popular music today, show off about our world and what we think is important? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.